Hello, football fans, and welcome to This Week in Rivalry, a production of SportRivalry.com. This is our first podcast, and today we'll be taking a look at the Rocky Mountain Showdown featuring the University of Colorado Buffaloes and the Colorado State Rams, a rivalry game dating all the way back to 1893.
The Buffaloes look to keep their winning ways alive after coming off their first winning season since 2005 and first Pac-12 South Division championship in school history. While the Rams look to avenge their 44-7 defeat they suffered in last year's Rocky Mountain Showdown. Here's Dr. Havard to discuss the purpose of the weekly podcast.
Hello, I'm Cody Havard, and I am an associate professor of sport commerce in the Kimmons Wilson School of Hospitality and Resort Management at the University of Memphis. One purpose for these podcasts is to get people excited and engaged with the upcoming rivalry games for the weekend. We also want to teach people about the phenomenon of rivalry and how rivalry influences fan behavior toward their favorite and rival teams.
And now let's take a look into the history of the Colorado State, the Rocky Mountain Rivalry, presented by SportRivalry.com.
Hello, this is Cody Havard with SportRivalry.com. Today we're going to talk about the rivalry between the University of Colorado Buffaloes and the Colorado State University Rams, known as the Rocky Mountain Showdown. Let's join Sport Rivalry Man on a brief history of the Colorado State rivalry. It all began with an out-of-season challenge game on February 10, 1893, when the Buffaloes beat the Rams 70-6. Since their first meeting, the two teams have met 88 times, and going into the 2017 season, the Buffaloes lead the series overall 64-22-2. Both schools are notable for having a live mascot at their home games. The University of Colorado has Ralphie the Buffalo, and Colorado State has Cam the Ram. The rivalry game was played in either Fort Collins or Boulder every year until 1958. The two teams did not meet each other for 25 years, but resumed play in 1983, and in 1995, the two schools decided to make it an official annual rivalry, meaning that they would play each other every year. Colorado and Colorado State began playing each other in Denver at Mile High Stadium in 1998. Denver was selected because it is considered a neutral site and the stadium has a larger capacity than either of the two schools. In 2003, there was a record attendance of 76,219 fans. The Rams and Buffaloes are contracted to play in Denver until 2019. On September 4th, 1999, the Rams beat the Buffaloes 41-14. The Rams had a big lead going into the fourth quarter, and the fans were becoming unruly. The police at the game called for reinforcements and the SWAT team. At the end of the game, tear gas containers were thrown into the crowd. This game quickly became known as the Crying Game. In the 2015 game, the Rams had taken an early 14-0 lead. The Buffaloes came back in the second half, and the two were tied at 24 at the end of the fourth quarter. The Colorado kicker missed a field goal attempt, sending the game into overtime. However, the kicker received a second chance and led the Buffaloes to victory on a 32-yard field goal. Colorado beat Colorado State 27-24. Over the last few years, attendance has decreased in Denver, causing administration and fans of both schools to believe that the rivalry should go back to being played on campuses. They feel that it will intensify the rivalry and also increase fan support and ticket sales. In today's review of Sport Rivalry, we will focus on in-group bias. Taj Phil wrote about in-group bias and explains that people tend to show preference or favoritism toward people within their group. In other words, people like others that share the same characteristics as them, such as a favorite team. Thank you for spending time with Sport Rivalry Man today. This is Cody Havard with SportRivalry.com, signing off.
Rivalry is driven by fans. Fans become very excited and sometimes they become extreme fanatics.
The Fan Perspective.
Hi, my name is Skylar Workman and I'm here with the Fan Perspective. In talking with people affiliated with both Colorado and Colorado State to get their impressions of the rivalry, a Colorado fan explained that the game is very important to CSU to win. It's their game of the year. If CU wins, it's not a big deal because they're supposed to win. But if they lose, it is a big deal because CSU is not in a power conference or the flagship university. Another CU fan said the rivalry feels like a big brother, little brother situation. He said that you will hear CSU talking about how CU students feel superior. In addition, CU says that CSU students are overall inferior. He said, quote, "The common joke is that CSU is the safety school. This results in CSU constantly comparing themselves to CU to try to gain respect. This is typical of many of the flagship versus state school rivalries that occur all over the nation. From the CSU perspective, people in Fort Collins and fans of CSU dislike CU. Boulder is a really cool place to visit, and it is amazing to see that some of the CSU fans will not even go to Boulder and experience it because they dislike CU and the fans that much. Regarding the Rocky Mountain Showdown, our CSU contact describes it as anyone's game. He said, quote, "There's so much emotion and energy in the game that really whoever shows up and comes ready to play will win. That is what a rivalry game is, in my opinion." The CU fan describes it as more of a marriage of convenience rather than a traditional rivalry. This has been Skylar Workman with the Fan Perspective.
Rivalry picks.
Now it is time to make our picks for the Rocky Mountain Showdown.
Sam's pick.
Colorado State has already opened a game on its new field. It's on campus field. They beat the Oregon State Beavers 58-27. In that game in particular, I focused on a receiver. Michael Gallup had 11 receptions for 134 yards. Really impressed me as he faced the Beavers secondary. Colorado has lost two members of their secondary, Chidobe Awuzie and Akilla Weatherspoon, to the NFL draft. So look for Gallup to have a huge game against the Colorado Buffaloes. And in this game, I'm taking Colorado State 27-24.
Vaughn's pick.
I would say this time I'm taking the round with the Colorado Buffaloes because of E.J. Elliott. It's because he was announced as the defensive coordinator for the Colorado Buffaloes, and he previously worked with the Kentucky Wildcats. But before that, he made a stop in Florida State, which is where he got it a huge successful win in the 2013 Orange Bowl. So I definitely think that their defense is going to be in good hands.
If you'd like to catch the Rocky Mountain Showdown, it is being aired on the Pac-12 network. The game is 6 p.m. Mountain Time, so in order to watch the Rocky Mountain Showdown, tune into the Pac-12 network this Friday, 6 p.m. Mountain Time. Anyways, thanks for listening. This is Samuel
And Vaughn.
from This Week in Rivalry. Thank you for joining us. Next week, we will focus on the USC-Stanford rivalry, Iowa State rivalry, and the BYU-Utah rivalry.
And we're out.